Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this week's episode, we hit up a conveyor belt sushi restaurant with a twist. Finally take the plunge at BIC Camera and explore around the Meijiro station area for dinner, choosing a fantastic Thai restaurant right beside the tracks. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a like, which really helps the channel grow. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss a future episode. Let's go. We've come out for lunch, so we did a bit of work this morning, got some hours in, and then decided to come out for lunch and fill our bellies before we go back and continue working this afternoon. We decided to come out for another sushi lunch. This is another conveyor belt sushi, but it's a very different type of place than where we went the other day. This one has iPads, so you can put your order in from your table. You don't have to interact with the chef. And it has a very cool conveyor belt system.
We tried to come here last night, but we didn't make it past the door very much because it was busting. They had two waiting areas and both the waiting areas were full of people. So I have high hopes. Yeah,
I think this is a chain. It's not a one-off restaurant. This is definitely a chain, and it looks like a chain.
Yeah.
So it's very different than the other place. This is less intimate.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more, you're by yourself. You don't have to interact with anybody. You just sort of use the iPad and order and stuff comes directly to you. So I'm really excited to see how this conveyor belt system works. Let's bust into that iPad and start ordering up some sushi. Another thing that's a little bit different about this place is that they don't give you dishes to put your soy sauce. So you just put soy sauce directly on your fish. They give you these bottles that are kind of like squirt bottles. So you can just drizzle on however much soy sauce that you would like. And if you want wasabi, then they give you little packets. They go around on the conveyor belt. You can just grab them off there and add them to your fish as you like. And then you just enjoy. This is a yellowtail that we ordered. That's really tasty.
The snow crab was one of their premium dishes that they had on offer for this month only. I got it because I love crab. It was I think 350 yen. If I had to get it again, I would get it again, but it was not blow my socks off amazing. It was, I think, very mild, especially on top of the sushi. So I don't know if it was a great combination to go on top of the rice. I enjoyed it. And overall, I would recommend this place if you had a lot of time in Japan. It's not the most highest end sushi you can grab, but it is fun to have the iPad and the conveyor belt and the booth and the fish coming straight to you.
For the sake of trying something different, I ordered a meat sushi. This is Kalbi beef. It's served on a rice ball with some green onion and probably some kind of Korean-ish sauce, it looks like. The sauce has got a bit of sweetness to it, but the beef and the beef fat flavor really shines on this. This is really good.
Is it underwhelming? Or was
it looked underwhelming. Nicole just asked me if it was underwhelming. It looked underwhelming when it came, but the flavor actually is on point. It's really tasty. This is similar to how we discovered beef ton in Sendai actually. I'll link that video up here if you want to check that out. But we ordered beef ton as sushi in a similar kind of restaurant, and just that, like the flavor of that meat sold us to go try like full-on beef ton. This is similarly shockingly good. When I put this order in, Nicole asked me, what's happened to you? Why are you loving squid so much? And I don't know, but I am. I really like the chewiness of the squid meat. I love how they score it, like how the chefs generally score the squid. And this one here is pretty cool because I noticed when I poured the soy sauce on it with the bottle, you can really see all the score marks as the soy sauce kind of fills them all in. It's a really neat effect. And it tastes really good. I think I've had my fill, and that means dessert. And at a place like this, a sushi restaurant, dessert means omelet. So I ordered omelet today, but instead of getting it on rice, like getting an egg sushi, a tamago nigiri, I decided to get omelet in a bowl. It's just like a side dish they offer here, and it comes with grated daikon on top. I'm gonna have one piece with the grated daikon and see if that deters from the dessert quality of the omelet for me. Because if it does, then I am not eating the other pieces with the daikon. So let's see. The omelet's warm, and I don't think it's the same style as what you would get as a sushi. It's not as sweet. The daikon would and does take away whatever sweetness there is there, so I am gonna push that aside for my other two pieces. But this, I am not doing this again. This is not satisfying like it normally is. I usually like the sweetness that comes through in the egg on the rice. This one here, maybe because it's a side dish, it's not as sweet. They've prepared it slightly differently, or maybe it's the location, I'm not sure, but I probably will not make this gamble in the future. It's still really nice and light and fluffy, like a Japanese omelet should be, but I'm craving that sweetness. I think this is our first experience of this type of sushi restaurant in Japan, eh?
Yes,
It was a lot of fun.
I like the novelty.
Yeah, the novelty was very high. I loved it when your flipper would open and then you'd know your food was coming and the anticipation would pick up. You'd be like, what's coming next? And then your food would shoot down the conveyor belt and sort of get directed into your little holding area for your food.
The receptacle, that was my favorite part.
Yeah.
When the food landed in the receptacle.
Yeah, and then if you don't take it off fast enough, they start telling you on the iPad, get your food off the thing. Like if they don't want a traffic jam of sushi. I also noticed that they only let you order 5 things at a time, and now I'm thinking it's because only 5 dishes would fit in that area at a time. So yeah, really fun place. What did you think of the food though?
I think that the food was passable. It wasn't outstanding.
Yeah.
It's passable for Japan standards. So back at home in North America, it'd probably be like quite good or very good.
Yeah.
But in terms of Japanese standards, then it was not quite as high.
I mean, it felt a little bit mass produced.
Yeah.
Like at the other restaurant we went to a couple days ago, you sit in front of the chef and watch him prepare your sushi. And when he's doing that, he's like pulling rice out of the rice bucket and shaping it into his balls and putting the fish on, and he's doing all of that very carefully. Here it feels like all the rice balls are pre-made and they're just sitting in the back kitchen there, and they just, as an order comes in, they just grab the rice ball, slap the fish that's probably also pre-cut, and send it out.
Yeah, I think definitely the fish is pre-cut, and I think the balls are actually put into molds.
Yeah.
Because they were all identical.
Perfect.
They were all identical.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a machine making them.
Oh yeah. but I would come here if you were in Japan for a while and you wanted to experience, you know, just the novelty of it. It's not expensive at all. It's very reasonable. So just for the novelty, I think it's worth coming.
It's definitely fun.
Yeah.
And despite us saying that about the food, I'm not disappointed.
No, I enjoyed myself.
I really enjoyed the food. It's not as good quality as the other place, but it's not bad.
No.
It's just not as good. So it was fun to try something different and witness this conveyor belt delivery system. I've heard so much about it over the years and never had a chance to try it. So we can check that off the list.
Yeah.
So we're done lunch here. We have one stop to make before we go back and start working.
Somewhere not exciting and somewhere nobody wants to be.
Let's go. We did it! Can you believe what we did today?
I'm actually in shock.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm in shock.
I had a lot of fun playing it, so.
Yeah, it was a good job they had a demo because that sold me.
So there was actually something over 2 weeks ago that foreshadowed this event. Do you know what that was?
I remember, you do.
That was when we landed in Narita and Mario was there to greet us as we were walking through towards customs.
I remember, I was so tired and gross from the plane filth, and it was like 20 hours, and I was like, ooh, look at how cute that is.
That was really neat, that mural they had, and all of the crazy Super Mario Brothers stuff. And then something kind of triggered in me last week, just feeling really nostalgic about Super Mario Brothers. Like I was saying in one of the other videos, I played video games a lot when I was a kid. I was really into video games, and I remember having the very first Nintendo system and playing Mario back in those days. And something about that had triggered in me. I really feel like playing those old games, just the simple ones.
Yeah.
And I was a bit, I was thinking, should we just buy a used console when I'm going to go to Akiba in a few days? Should I buy one there? And then I read a bit about the Switch and started getting that idea. And once we played it, the game that we'll show you later, it felt very much like the old one, like very retro feeling, but just modern new graphics. So
it was hard to say no to it.
Yeah. So
I'll give you that.
Now we have it. There's only one problem.
You have to make it to the end of the workday.
Yes, we're back home. I have to work until, I don't know, I got 3 hours to put in. So it's going to be very difficult to get through that, knowing that Switch is sitting here.
No opening the box until 5.
No, so let's get started with this work, get it over with, and then we can rip into the Switch and give it a try.
One eternity later.
Hooray! Work day is done, and you know what that means. It's time to open the Switch. It's time to crack open the packaging on our brand new Switch. Where's Nicole? She's there. She's coming. She's excited too. We actually got lucky because they just updated the Switch. I'm not exactly sure all the things they did to this revision, but one of the things was they extended the battery life. So that's pretty lucky for us, isn't it? That we've decided to buy the Switch, and just by chance, they have just updated it. Like a couple months ago, I think they released the update in September, and apparently it was really hard to get at that time. The big stores like BIC, where we purchased this one, couldn't keep them in stock. But that shortage has passed, and we just had great timing. Very, very, very lucky. So let's break this open, do a bit of an unboxing. One thing that's interesting is that it's not taped up. Like in North America, this would have been taped. Aha. Of course, all the information on the exterior of the box is all in Japanese, but I've read online that there's no printed manual in the box, so that shouldn't be a problem. We just have to look it up online and there'll be an English variant. Here is the actual Switch. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to unbox all this stuff and then we'll show it to you as it's already on the table. All right, there it is, unpacked. Everything we need. The Switch, it's two controllers that slide onto the side or slide into this holder to make a standalone controller. These things slide onto the controllers if you want to play two-player games with them. The AC adapter, which works everywhere in the world. They actually gave you a HDMI cable, which I'm kind of shocked about. I feel like a lot of things these days don't come with all the cables, but that one came with an HDMI cable. And then this is the base station. This is what you leave beside your TV plugged into the HDMI, and then you slip your Switch in here, and then you can play it on the TV. Are you excited?
Give me the remote. Let me at it. I'm going to be Mario.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to hook this up to the TV. Actually, I'm just going to plug it in, start it up, set it up, and then we're probably gonna go for dinner.
Yeah.
But then when we get back, he'll be waiting for us to start playing. We're close. We have, well, I have set it up, hooked it up to the TV, have been running through all the settings, playing around, just having fun, getting to know the Switch. It's sitting right there. Right beside the TV. Do you think you can manage to wait to play Nintendo until after we have dinner?
What is taking so long? I thought you would just take it out of the box and plug it in. You've been beeping and blipping beside me for a long time now.
That's kind of all you have to do, but I like going through every single setting and getting to know what it can do and all that kind of stuff.
We are very different that way.
We are.
I just want the remote.
Yeah. But I think it's time to go have some dinner. We'll come back and play a couple rounds of Mario. We're heading over to the small train station, the opposite direction of the big one, and that's the one where we cross the bridge over the tracks, and then beside the bridge are another tracks, and 3 trains passed us at once as we were on the bridge, which is, I love it. There's 2 went under and 1 went right beside us. It's so crazy. I love that everything's built up right to the tracks, and it's a lot like wasteland around the tracks. It's just kind of, you just get used to it. Like our office back in Toronto is near a small airport, and so we're constantly having planes buzzing the office as they're landing. We're right in the flight path, and at first that was super annoying, but then you just kind of get used to it, and it becomes white noise, and doesn't really bother you. And I feel like the trains would be the exact same thing, and for us living here so far, it has been. It didn't take long, maybe because of the airplane experience, to just sort of let it go, and it just becomes the norm, and you end up kind of liking those sounds. It makes you feel like everything's okay and everything's functioning properly around you. So we're just walking down the street, which is literally right beside the tracks. The Yamanote line is right beside us, so the JR trains go back and forth, and then a private line, the Cebu line, is also right here. Here comes one of the JR trains. Actually, that might have been the Cebu train, the private railway that goes up to Ikebukuro station. That's its terminus. So we're just walking down the street beside the tracks looking for a restaurant. If we don't find one here, we're going to cross over beside the station, and there goes another crossover, and there's tons of restaurants over there. The neat thing about walking down at this time of the night is that it's kind of rush hour, so there's tons of trains. The schedules really ramp up, and you just get constant trains going back and forth. As I've been talking to you, here comes the 4th train. That's the Yamanote line. All right, I'm gonna stop babbling about the trains. We're gonna go find food. I'm sure we're gonna find food, but I'm very hungry, so I need to get a bit of a hold me over, and I got a new bun. We are literally right beside the train station. So this is, I haven't had this one ever. This is cheese and pork. So there's gonna be, I think 4 types of cheese in here and minced pork. I get the pork and onions, sort of like a dumpling. I haven't hit cheese yet. This is good, but it's not going to replace a pisamon or the curry cheese bun. But it was a good one to try. Pretty tasty. But look over here, look how close we are to the train station. This is the small train station we've been coming to. And we usually come up top on the 2nd floor and come down and grab the train. Here comes one right now. That's a Yamanote line train. And it looks very busy. So we're gonna continue hunting for food. This is not gonna ruin my appetite. I'm starving, very hungry. So Nicole, did you have any luck finding a restaurant while I was getting a bun?
There were some interesting options down there, but I think I want to explore more up there.
All right, let's go. They really get moving at a good clip before they're even out of the station. They start really slow and quiet, and then by the time the last car is exiting the station, they're moving at a very good speed. we're still in the hunt for a restaurant, and we've walked away from the train station. We went back up to the main street in front of the train station, and we walked down away from it in a direction we haven't been before, and the street turned into a really lovely street. It's quite busy with traffic, but it got really leafy and started to have a real sort of like community feel. I think it's the Halloween banners they have scattered along the street makes it somewhat inviting somehow, but we're still looking for a restaurant, and we're gonna turn back soon, but we'll see if anything piques our interest around the corner. So we did not find a restaurant yet, and we just spent way too much time in a grocery store and 100 yen store. We came across a place called Peacock, which had a Daiso in the second floor and then a grocery store on the first and basement. And we're coming back here tomorrow, so we'll show it to you tomorrow. But we did pick up some 100 yen stuff. I got something so crazy. I've been hunting for this ever since we got here, and I can't believe I actually found it here, and I will show it to you later. But we have picked a restaurant. We walked past it. We're gonna go back to it. Let's go. We're back where we pretty much started. We're back across the street from Meijiro Station, and actually that street that we were walking down, I was talking about with the Halloween banners, that's like Meijiro neighborhood. I guess this neighborhood's called Meijiro, and Peacock, that grocery store, was called Peacock Meijiro. So we're in the Meijiro neighborhood, and I'm very hungry. We're gonna be going back to a restaurant beside the train tracks. I'm on a bridge right now with multiple lines, the Seibu line and the Yamanote line going into Meijiro Station, and Nicole's calling me over to look at some restaurants. So it wasn't a restaurant, it was another grocery store that Nicole wanted to show me. It was a bit of a fancier grocery store, and did not film in there because they shut me down. But it looked pretty nice, and there's some interesting stuff in there, so we might have to come back here again, right across from the station, so that shouldn't be much of a chore when we're heading out and using Meijiro Station. So now we're heading over for dinner at this Thai restaurant that we've been passing every time we walk to Meijiro Station, and Nicole's been hankering some Thai food. They have a good rating, so that convinced me, so we're going over there now. All right, we're here. That didn't take long from the last clip. We're not far from the station. You can see it just peeking over the bushes behind me. The track is right behind these bushes here. A train's going by now, and here's our restaurant. Nicole's gone in to get us a table. Let's go check it out. Our first dish has come, and it looks pretty spectacular. It's stir-fried, deep-fried, soft-shell crab with egg and curry sauce. And it looks like super fluffy. Nicole's been going at it, of course. I'm gonna try some of this egg here. This is the part that looks really fluffy. Oh wow. The egg is really well prepared. It's amazing. It's like eating a cloud. It's super fluffy and soft and smooth. And the flavor, the curry flavor, it's just on the verge of being spicy, but it's not. If you've never had soft shell crab before, it can be a little bit weird because you eat the shell. Since it's soft, you can just eat it. So you just take a whole kind of piece of crab out of the plate, which is shell and all. And you can just eat every last bit of it. And so this soft shell crab has been deep fried before it's been fried up in this curry. And it's still retaining a little bit of its crispiness. Wow, this is a good choice, Nicole. Nicole picked this one. Here's a piece of soft shell crab. You can see the shell here. And yeah, you can just literally eat all of that. No problem. Like I said, this place has a high rating on Google, and I can totally see why with this first dish.
I've never had egg prepared in this way before. It's, I don't know, cooked. It's kind of scrambled, cooked in curry, and then on top of the soft shell crab. I saw in the menu and I was like, this is something totally different, and I wanted to go something out of my comfort zone. Because usually I just get the soft shell crab with nothing on it and then I dive in. But this time, I'm going for the egg. The texture of the egg is super silky and fluffy, and the curry taste is really deep and a little bit spicy. I really like the Thai curry. I find that when I'm in Japan, it's really easy to get good curry, Japanese curry, Indian curry, Thai curry. All the curries are so different from one another, but the level of cooking skill in this country is like, I don't know, up here. So every time I get a curry, I'm always happy and never disappointed.
Our next dishes came. So we ordered the crab, which is actually a main dish, as an appetizer to share between us. And then we got two mains to I guess we're sharing them as well. I chose a stir-fried beef with basil, served with rice, and it has a fried egg on top. And I'm always a sucker for things like that with a fried egg. So I was leaning towards that. And Nicole ordered a pad thai. The beef dish is really good. The beef is tender, but very spicy. I'm probably glistening right now. I've been eating it for a bit, and I'm sweating. The flavor is really good. It really attacks my tongue. I also like the egg. Like the egg yolk and the beef with the spice go really well together. And now I've mixed it all up into like a kind of a mess to try and break down some of the heat, but also just because I like getting chunks of different things together. Like here I got a spoonful of the rice and fried egg. I can see crispy bits of the fried egg. And then some of the sauce is in there soaked into the rice. Yeah, this is a really excellent choice. I could have done with a little bit less spice. I'm in slight pain right now, but the flavor is under that is really good. Let's check in with Nicole and her pad thai.
As Michael had mentioned, we had ordered the curry egg as our appetizer. We were both really hungry, and we are very familiar with Japanese-sized portions of food. So I'm really happy we got the egg because it was something very different, but for our main courses we both revert to our favorites. My favorite is pad thai, and I eat pad thai a lot when I'm home, so I'm quite picky about my pad thai. I know a good pad thai, and then I know what a bad pad thai is. This is a good pad thai. No wait, this is an excellent pad thai. The ferocious cook in the kitchen, she really knows what she's doing, and she just banged out a wicked pad thai. The noodles are just the right tenderness or chewiness. It's super hot, extremely flavorful. It's not a sweet ketchupy pad thai that you find sometimes. This is real quality tamarind, and just the peanuts, the scallions, the egg mixture in it. It's just a perfect pad thai.
I like how they serve it with a complement of sauces so that you can adjust the flavor to how you like. You can spice it up. There's dried chilies, there's chili oil, or you could add some more what looks like fish sauce, and then there's sugar. So you can really play with the flavors and get the pad thai exactly as you like, but we have done none of that. The chef has done a perfect job of making this pad thai, and we were just enjoying it as it is. So I'm going to continue eating this spicy beef and mopping myself as I'm doing that, and I'm going to tuck into a little bit of Nicole's pad thai. It does look really good, and we will catch up with you after dinner. Maybe if there's dessert, we'll show you that. All right, so there is dessert. For two reasons. One, I fell for their marketing ploy and have been sitting here staring at the sign advertising their Thai tea ice cream all dinner long. The second reason is because my mouth is still on fire from that dish, and I'm hoping that the ice cream is going to numb that a little bit. So let's give this a try. It's a very thick ice cream. It's not very smooth. It almost has a bit of a what's the ice stuff called? Not shaved ice, but
Sorbet?
like a bit of a sorbet-ish kind of feeling when you're trying to get it out with the spoon.
It almost comes out flaky.
Yeah, it's like it's got a flaky texture. There you go. So here we go. We got a bit of that. It has a bit of an icy feel in the mouth, but the flavor is very good. The flavor reminds me of the bottled tea, the bottled cold tea that I've been getting, the sweetened tea. Yeah, it has a very good tea flavor. The flavor is on point. The texture could use a slight upgrade, but I'm really enjoying it, and it is soothing the mouth.
Don't forget to tell everybody about the size of the ice cream.
So that was the first thing Nicole said when it came down. She was like, make sure you tell them the size. It is a bit small, but it's only 200 yen, so I feel like that's reasonable. It's just a good sort of post-meal amount of ice cream. I don't need a lot, I'm pretty full, but I just needed something sweet and something cold, and this is fitting the bill. So I'm gonna finish up this ice cream and then we're gonna head back home. I have a couple hours left of work to do tonight, but before then we have to fire up Mario and get a few rounds in. That was quite the meal, eh?
What a sweet little restaurant with amazing food.
Yeah, and hardcore chefs in the kitchen. Yeah,
Hardcore.
they were really firing those woks up and making some delicious foods, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
My tongue is completely recovered thanks to that ice cream. So that was money well spent.
You were a bit skeptical about Thai food tonight.
I was. When I'm in Japan, I just want to eat Japanese foods. I always have a struggle wanting to veer off that, but it was good.
I find in general in Japan, when you eat foreign foods here, it's always super delicious. I knew that this Thai place was going to be good. I had a feeling.
Yep, very good meal. But I gotta get home. I gotta go play Mario. Here, hold this.
Okay. What the heck?
Where have you been?
You left me at the restaurant.
Oh yes. Mario's fun. You wanna play? Thanks so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed watching us have some fun picking up our Nintendo Switch. If you did, please don't forget to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. We'll see you next week.